Hello again, and welcome to my creative African cooking channel, Ndudu by Fafa. Miawe Zulu, Ndudu by Fafa, Nya, Koba Ndudu and Yukwelu, Fafa, come on, Ndudu, and Fafa. I love the flavors, Ulama, Bala, Ndudu, Vivinto, Hello, gorgeous folks. Thank you again for tuning in for another episode with Chef Fafa. Okay, so today I'm going to be talking about Bambara nuts or Bambara beans. Now, it's mostly cultivated in West Africa and it's packed with nutrients such as iron, potassium. So it's really good for malnutrition. And I was like, oh, let me combine two of Ghana's most famous dishes, which would be Angwa Mo, yes, which is a coconut flavored rice. And Nigeria also has that, as well as waakye. Waakye is rice cooked with black-eyed beans usually and sorghum leaves. So yes, this is a flavor-packed dish. And if this is your first time, you're welcome. Thank you very much for tuning in. Now, the interesting thing about this is one ingredient that is enjoyed in Zimbabwe as well. And I think it's called as Nyimo beans. Yes. Zambians call it Ntoyo, Cibemba, while South Africans refer to it as Izinblubu. If I do stand corrected, I'm sure I've not pronounced it correctly, but yeah, leave comments below. And I think in Nigeria, is it known as Okpa or Eparoro in Yoruba? Yeah, definitely. So anyway, let's start cooking. Now, the best way to cook Bambara nuts or Bambara beans is to soak it overnight. And I tend to change the water at least on 2 occasions so it doesn't get any funny smells or anything, because I just like it so. Anyway, so traditionally in Ghana, I'd say we make the Aboboi, which is made out of the Bambara nuts or Bambara beans, but it's cooked till it's nice and soft and almost mashy. Yes, one would add some spices and a little bit of sugar in there, so it has this spicy and sweet flavor, and it's served with overripened plantain cakes, which we known as tatale. Yes, now I've got that recipe and I'll leave a link in the description box below, and I'll also pin it at the top, and you can actually watch it and familiarize yourself with it. Now, hopefully after this video you will definitely incorporate Bambara beans or Bambara nuts into your dishes more often, because it does contain carbohydrates, protein, fat, fiber, vitamins, minerals such as manganese, magnesium, zinc, selenium, calcium, potassium, fluoride, phosphorus, sodium, iron, copper, and it helps with malnutrition. It also will protect you against anemia. It prevents bone diseases such as osteoporosis, arthritis, due to the calcium content. It also helps with irritable bowel syndrome, and I do suffer from that, so yes, definitely is part of my diet. But that is my last portion. So yes, this pandemic is just creating a shortage, because by now I'd have ordered some for it to be delivered. Now, when you're preserving your Bambara nuts, it's so prone to having insects in. So what I tend to do is freeze it. That's the best way, and that would last you much longer. So anyway, what you've seen is I've soaked my Bambara beans, and then I've just brought it to the boil. And earlier I did take the scum off the top, or may I say the foam off the top, and I believe that is like some of the gas that it produces, that when you do that it reduces that gas content, because usually when you have beans, then you start passing you know what I mean. Anyway, I'm not going to say it, but I've said it. Just use your imagination. Am I feeling embarrassed and prudish to talk about it? I guess when it comes to food and things like that, I try to keep it separate. Anyway, so now let's add some flavors. I love flavors. Now I've added my onions because I'm incorporating that Angwa Mo flavor into my dish. So yes, I'd leave the list of ingredients and measurements on my blog Ndudu by fafa.blogspot.com, so do check it out. The next thing is I'm adding some coconut oil. Yes, as I mentioned, we're giving it that Angwa Mo flavor. And I'm just going to mix everything together till it's well combined. You will notice I've not added salt yet. And the reason is if you add salt, then your beans will take much longer to cook. So that's why I've omitted it for now. So I'm going to allow this to boil. Now for this recipe, I'm not going to overcook the Bambara beans. I'm just going to leave it in that chunky manner because I'm creating a vegetarian dish here. And after about 30 minutes of slow cooking, I can just tell that the water just looks thicker and it's looking creamy, and that's indicative of the flavors being infused. At this point, I'll be adding my washed jasmine rice. And I think jasmine rice really pairs well with this dish. But equally, you can use any rice that you have readily available because that sweetness and creaminess of the Bambara beans is just going to infuse into any rice that you do use. You can try the Guinean brown rice as well. That would just be incredible and so nutty. I think I've just inspired myself as to what next I should make. So anyway, I'm now adding my salt to taste, and of course I'm going to be mixing everything together until it's well combined. But you think I'm done? No, because I've got more to add. Here I've added 1 fresh bay leaf. If you don't have the fresh bay leaf, you can use your normal bay leaf. And if you don't have it, you can, try our echo, or may I say the grains of salim or wentia. That would give it a different sort of dimension and flavor, and it's also nutrient packed anyway. So next I've added my coconut milk. Now that would add that natural sweetness to this dish, and you know that Angwa Mo flavor that we're talking about, we get in that. So you're getting that nutty creamy flavor from the Bambara nuts, you're getting that sweet creamy coconutty flavor as well. So this is a dish that you can enjoy on its own. And of course, at this point, I'm like, yes, what should I add? A little bit of my chili. So I've got my frozen caswa pepper, which I always swear by. It's incredible. It's so aromatic. It's readily available in Ghana in the markets, and I'm sure maybe in other West African states, I'm not sure. And if it is, please leave your comments below, and yeah, just say. I think definitely in Togo it will be. So anyway, I've just added more of my coconut milk and a little bit of water, and this bad girl looks good. So now I've reduced my heat to its lowest setting, and I've just covered it, and I'm going to allow this to boil, or to cook for at least about 15 minutes. So at this point I need to just check, yes, because I don't want it to be mushy. I just need it so, because I'll be using it for something great later. And of course, I'm like looking at it and I think it does need a little bit more liquid. Don't worry about the measurements. They are going to be provided for you by me leaving a link in the description box to my blog, ndudubyfafa.blogspot.com. So at this point, I'm going to cover it with my foil. And yes, on the lower setting, I'm going to leave this to cook for further 20 minutes. Now, my loyal subscribers, thank you guys so much for all your love, your likes, your comments, your encouragement. I appreciate each and every one of you. You've made this journey a memorable one. Like seriously, I couldn't have done this without you guys. I love you guys. Thank you so much for giving the platform to, exhibit my lovely, crazy ideas, maybe. Yes. And here we have our pièce de résistance. I'm going to stop talking so that you can savor this. Hello again, and welcome to my creative African cooking channel, Ndudu by Fafa. Miawe zulu, Ndudu by Fafa, Nya, Koba Ndudu and Yukwelu, Fafa, come on, Ndudu, and Fafa, Alaba Flavours, Ulema, Bala, Ndudu Vivin, So if you think about this recipe, I have picked out elements from how we cook Bambara beans in Ghana, which is of course with some spices. So I did add the chili for that little hint of heat. And of course I've added the coconut milk, which would lend the sweetness to the dish. Exactly. So once that is done, I was like, ooh, you know, when we buy rice in Ghana, it usually is served with salad. And the salad has a bitter taste to it, which complements the rice and stew beautifully. So I, of course, emulated that. And I've got my thinly sliced red onions. You can use your normal white onions, not a problem. And then I've just added some shredded cabbage as well. And of course, I have washed all of this before chopping it. And here I'm going to add my apple cider vinegar. You can use your malt vinegar if that's what you have available. Yes, and I'm just going to add that and a little bit of salt and pepper to taste. And what I'm going to do is mix this with my rice and Bambara beans mixture. Or may I call it the Bambara Beans Waakye? Yes. So there are definitely elements that everybody can actually relate to. Has it been combined together like this before? Maybe not. And I've just done that and I did enjoy it. So for a vegetarian version and a vegetarian day, you know, why not? Why don't we try this? I did drizzle a little bit of olive oil as well in there, but you can omit that altogether because the flavor and oil is all in that rice anyway. Now, naturally, as I mentioned, I'd leave all the list of ingredients and measurements on my blog, ndudubyfafa.blogspot.com. So do check it out. Now, if this is your first time and you haven't clicked the subscribe button, please do so. Yes, and also the notification button so you do not miss any future videos. Notification gang, love you guys. Like, you guys are so incredible. You're pushing this forward. And to my loyal subscribers, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Now, my best thing I'd say is live your best life, you know. Do what makes you happy, because when you do find yourself in a happy place, you do not project any negativity whatsoever, and your aura is one that would attract goodness to you. What you give to the world is exactly what the universe gives back to you. Yes, so yeah, I'm also on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat as Ndudu by Fafa. So pass by and say hi. Noel, thank you very much for my theme song, and I think this recipe would suit you perfectly. Yes, and until my next video, take care of you. Be nice, be beautiful, be gorgeous, boost your immune system. And yes, try the recipe and don't forget to leave your comments below. Me love you for you. Toodles.